Thank you so much for tuning in to She's All Over the Place with Katie. That's me. Welcome back to Culture Kids. It's so great to have you. Because of you, we're in the top 1.5% podcasts out of almost 4 million podcasts. Wow. Make sure you're subscribing, leave a comment. Oh, go to the link below. We're doing giveaways. We're doing giveaways every single episode. Even if you hear this episode 4 months from now or 4 years from now, you can still go to the link, enter in the giveaway, because we're doing giveaways all the time, multiple giveaways. So art, music, NFTs, things of that nature, private one-on-ones, so things like that. So to educate and help you. Today's guest is a true culture kid. His name is Nigel Ford. I have new bangs. So, if you're not on the video, pop over to the video because we are sharing some pretty cool things that we're going to talk about today. And if you're just on the audio, that's okay too. Okay, so my guest today is the creator of Monk's NFTs. A personal fave of mine, Nigel Ford. He's a creative director, an executive producer, music industry, and Web3 enthusiast. Published with works with artists such as PATCH BAE, Forrest Walker, and more. He's into brand strategy for artists. During my birthday, I had some questions and, we strategized. We talked about some things, which is really cool. And we're going to get into that today with you. And we're going to be talking about music, film, comedy, DAOs, NFTs, Web3, and there's the alpha. Nigel, thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
Beautiful. Thank you, Saint Kiriaki. It is so wonderful to be here with you. Just so energized by your conversation already and that wonderful introduction. So I'm doing great, to say the least. I feel amazing. I'm really, really honored to be here and just sharing our thoughts with all these beautiful people.
Yeah, definitely. So let's just dive right in. You're on a Sheer SM7B, which I love, and I'm on a TLM 103. And before we were recording, for an hour, we were just talking. The whole thing should have been recorded, but you really gave me a new perspective of the mic. I'm on the mic every day, and I don't really utilize how, certain podcasters really lean into things. So
right, when they want to butt in and say something really important, they lower their voice, but they get really close so you can hear.
Yeah. And, I'm going to start doing things like that right now. So thank you.
What I have to say is really important. Listen in right now. Isn't that what they say? If you want to get somebody's attention, you should whisper.
Sounds about right. About right.
I was thinking that as a strategy for commercials though. I hear it sometimes on the radio, they'll start whispering. I'm like, wait, that actually caught my attention. So for anybody out there creating commercials, maybe think about that. Yeah.
Well, sometimes when I do voiceovers, they'll give the direction an inner monologue, I'm talking to someone, my best friend, I'm talking to you or something. And then I'm having a conversation over here with myself on a side note, and it's kind of an inner monologue, and it's a whisper. So I do that a lot of times. So turning the needle right on you, when did you find out and get involved with blockchain, NFTs? Share your story with me, please.
Yeah, definitely. So probably similar to a lot of people. I mean, I was really fortunate in Clubhouse to come across an NFT room. I was getting into stocks, crypto and stuff. I did pretty well on Dogecoin. Actually, this was before I got into NFTs a little bit before I did well on Dogecoin, but I started getting into crypto and just investing a little bit. I actually selected, when I signed up for Clubhouse, I selected that I'm interested in NFTs because I thought it was ETFs and I was trying to learn more about stocks. So fortunately, I saw all these rooms pop up NFT this, NFT that. I was like, what the freak is this? And started listening. I was like, oh, okay, this is what this is. And I was already in the music industry. So I started to realize how this NFTs are just going to completely revolutionize intellectual property rights and completely just shift the dynamic, empowering independent artists. And I was working with independent artists who were trying to stay independent and not sell out to a label or something like that. And I was like, oh, wow, this can turn into a massive crowdfunding thing where artists can connect with their fans and they can fundraise and monetize their career and split the royalties with them and give them 20% instead of giving 80% to a record label. So my mind started filling with all these things. I was like, this is so cool. And then I ended up purchasing my first NFT. What I guess that would be. So that was Clubhouse. That was like December of 2019. And then 2020. When did Gary Vee drop his NFT? That was my first one. I bought the Veefriend as my first NFT.
Series
2021 then? Series 1 was 2021, May of 2021.
I have a Series 2. I got it in 2022. So
yeah. So Series 1 came out May of 2021. So that's when I actually, after already like learning a lot about the NFT space, that's when I actually purchased my first NFT and went through the whole process. And I was like, okay, wow, this is pretty cool. It just like changed my whole perspective. Then going to VeeCon and seeing how he brings about the utility of owning that NFT, and that's where we met. So that's, where the story begins.
Yeah. And it's so smart. And wow, with strategy and thought and how nature takes its course, and it's meant to be for you to be, a part of like where you are now. And then making the choice that your first NFT was a Veefriends, a Series 1. I mean, it's an OG one to have. So, I mean, you were definitely an OG culture kid.
So mad. I'm mad I didn't buy more. I guess if I would have understood it like I understand it now, I would have bought in so many Veefriends. It's ridiculous. I would be, because they did so well. I mean, and I knew that they were going to do well. I just didn't. I don't have the hindsight's 2020, but
yeah. But I mean, same thing with us being in Clubhouse, and same thing with the people who didn't buy Bored Apes, and then the people who only bought one. I know some people who definitely bought multiple, but like, how would you, or a lot of people know? Like, a lot of people didn't know. Some people did know the alpha, and some people had extra just to like F it, right? So like, but no, you're always going to have that cringe or that FOMO or frustration. It's a part of life.
Gary Vee. I mean,
I love Gary Vee. He's insane. He's amazing. Be kind, be kind, be kind. Get louder and louder, and with our kindness and love. And the people who are happy, like us, we need to get louder. We need to scream and let people know. I was crying.
Believe in that guy. Oh, at VeeCon for sure. That's what I mean.
He was saying all that. I was crying
all about
nonstop.
Community. And he's just built such a tremendous community. And I just, knowing what I know now, I just wish I bought more is all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying. But what I want to say, because I share your sentiment, is I have a V2. And it's like, I'm like, oh man, I wish I had a V1. But I stop myself because I'm like, I'm in gratitude that I have a V2. Because like a lot of people don't even have V2s, like any Veefriend. So like, I am very bullish on the community. I'm all about it. And I think you have like a rare something one, right? You have like a rare cool one, right?
It's not that rare, but it's called Who Was Born in 1997, and I was born in 1997. So it's a really like, and he said it on stage there. He was like, oh, it might take 11, 13 years, but like I'm doing something special for each NFT. And he's like, I know a lot of you out there are wondering, like, what does the year 1997 have to do with anything? And I was like, I heard him say that on stage. I'm like, man, this guy knows how to drive community, because now I'm just like a random person who got this random thing, but it meant so much to me in a unique way. And he's going to highlight that someday. And I know that. And that's just going to make me hold on to it forever.
And he knows, like you said, like how to make someone feel really special. Like that touched you in such a massive way. And I want to share, like when I was there, he said a couple special ones to his heart. Like, he actually mentioned one of the ones that I have. And like, and I'm just like, whatever one you get, it's like, it's supposed to be like, I mean, it was synchronistic that for you. And I feel it was really apropos and synchronistic for me. Although I really like Ambitious Angel and Erica. She was so cool. She was walking around like interviewing people, and there were over 7,000 people at VeeCon. And afterwards, one of my friends sent me an Instagram, shared an Instagram thing. And they're like, Erica's like, what's your favorite? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so many, but one of them's like Ambitious Angel. And like, that's all over the Instagram. It has like over like 20,000 or 50,000 views or something. And my friend sent that to me. And it's true. Like Ambitious Angel, it's like, I don't have that one. I could
think of anything better to represent you,
Yeah.
So we'll get you that one. We're going to make it happen. There's enough listeners on this podcast to make sure you get an Ambitious Angel. We can start a DAO to get you.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we should just definitely, well, now that you planted the seed, the manifestations has started. I mean, it started before we even talked about it, but now there's like a whole new layer to it.
Let's go.
Yeah. Well, let's go. And then also like, we're like joking, but half serious, like that's how things happen. And that's how, artists vibe, and people wonder like, how does that happen? Like that, like when you say something, you put it out there, and then you like do a CTA call to action, and you're vulnerable about it and make it like a like kind of thing and make it fun. Now we talk about gamifiable, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And make it interactive. Like it's totally like fun. And that's the processes of the journey of life. And so zooming in. So yeah, so I will be seeing you at VeeCon. It's going to be in Indianapolis this year. So I already reached out to the team to see if, I could potentially be a moderator, because that would be so awesome for me to moderate. Because last year it was like all Farouk and Jenny from the blockchain. They were just the moderators for everything. I'm like, yo, like next year, like I definitely need to be doing some moderating over here. So that'd be fun. But regardless, I'll be there, which is really exciting. So let's shifting in. Like, wait, right now you go to USC and your major's music. So let's talk about your major, what you're doing at USC, and how you created a DAO at the university. Like you are spearheading and leading with USC, one of the elite schools in the world.
Yeah. It's an amazing place. I love it so much. Every single day I feel so grateful. And it's all paid for from the military. The GI Bill is covering everything. They actually pay me each month to go to school. So I'm just super blessed. And
wait, what, people are gonna be like, wait, rewind. What was that? Who pays for it?
The government, the GI Bill. Yeah. So I was in the military. I served 5 years in the Marine Corps. Incredible. I mean, I got to spend 4 years in Hawaii. So I never saw action or did anything crazy like that, but just learned a lot about life and like brought me to where I am now. And I'm just incredibly grateful.
Hawaii.
So yeah,
wow.
Yeah, I was out there in Hawaii for 4 years and just got to like kind of plan my future. And I was like, what do I really want to do? I have all this free money that the government's going to pay for my schooling and then actually pay me each month a stipend to go to school. I better choose like what I love and what really resonates with me. So that's all. It's like music, At that time, actually, I got deployed out to Okinawa, Japan, and I was just producing music every single day. I set a goal to produce a new song and post it on YouTube every single day. And that was cool. Like I loved it. I love producing. It was fun and everything, but it's just like it opened my eyes to the broader spectrum, like understanding of what's happening in music and the music industry right now. And I just have a lot of like, I believe like entrepreneurship and like leadership skills. So I was like, I really want to take that and apply that to the industry of music and what's going on right now financially. So that's why I was like, okay, USC, Los Angeles, best school possibly you could go to for music. I'm going to take the music industry program here at USC. And last year was my first full year. I'm wrapping up my second full year in the spring semester right now. And I cannot tell you, I've met countless incredible people who are working on some really, really cool thing. But a lot of these kids aren't connected and a lot of them don't really understand what's going on with blockchain. There's a lot of teachers leading them astray, saying random things about NFTs, like they're a scam, but they really don't understand how it's disrupting the whole financial future of the industry. So that's why I went on to create University DAO. And our main goal is to really connect these college students at the university. Yeah. Who are just
Can
really
we just
talented.
Pause real quick?
Yeah.
I have like chills that just came everywhere around my body. And like I've been to the campus, and what I did a short film, a thesis film. Beautiful. It was a $50,000 budget. Beautiful campus. I did
it's incredible. The film school there.
Yeah.
I wish I could get into that. Oh my goodness. It's very, very impressive.
So this woman, Kim, I don't have her last name on hand. It's on IMDb, but she did her thesis. It was a $50,000 and I was a new actor. There's a department where you can submit, I heard, your headshot and resume. So I did. And I went in for an audition. I booked it. It was like a short that I did for a few days. And I was on the campus and I saw names, like streets, and it's people's names. And when you were just telling me your story and I got those chills, I saw your name. You are going to have your own name on that land one day because of who you are. You're teaching the teachers. The teachers don't even know. I see it. Right I know. Wow. Your hairs are all sticking up because you know it. It's yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Okay. You. So yeah. So your name, I see it already. And then I'm like, okay, moving on. So did you tell him who Blau was? Did you give him a Google Doc of join Royal and what he's doing and what he did and like spotty Wi-Fi and what people are doing in music so he can so they can start at least reading some good information on it? Yeah,
like you're talking about the professors that
I think you should take it to the dean or whoever and say, please give this to, why don't you go to one person instead of the teenagers? Because they won't like that. Put a file together, send it to the main dean for him to just have them look it over, fact check it, and then give it to the music teachers. Yo, I think they'll just like offer you a partnership or something like that. Like, I don't know. Like, this is pretty major.
Well, like, yeah, I think even potentially that'd be so cool if I could start to teach a course in it or something. I think University DAO is great for now because it's the only recognized student organization on campus that is a DAO. So we're the first and the only DAO at USC. So it's a place, at least for people who are curious and want to learn more. Like there's an organization called Blockchain USC, and they're great. They do a wonderful job educating people. But like the teachers that are really tapped in that matter, like my professor Kevin Lyman, he's the one who started the Vans Warp Tour. I'm sure you've probably heard of it. He designed the campgrounds at Coachella. He's worked with every major artist you can think of, putting together all kinds of festivals. And he embraces, NFTs and blockchain. He understands that they're going to better help like hyper service a fan club and stuff like that. So it was just one professor, that he said his 2 cents about it really briefly, but he's like anti-streaming and like thinks that the streaming industry is supposed to provide all the income for the music industry, but it's not. It's just another form of digital distribution. And there's so many other ways that artists can and should monetize their work, like crowdfunding from their fans and stuff, and building that relationship and community with them via blockchain is just like, I think artists will definitely understand that as the infrastructure is there, the legal infrastructure and the digital infrastructure to actually carry that out. And I just want to help like as many musicians understand that as possible right now, because the more that get onto that, like you already are, and you see the impacts of it, like you're talking about with Blau and Spotted Wi-Fi, Dill, all these people who are doing really, really cool things in the NFT space. It's only a fraction of the things that we're really going to see in the next 5 years as the whole landscape evolves and allows for more things. And like we were talking about the metaverse, that's what Monk's NFT really is all about. That's my really long-term 30-year vision of how I want to help promote music artists. And really it's going to be all about like broadcasting in the metaverse, and that's super exciting stuff. That if anybody ever wants to help work on that,
I do. I'm already gonna make it happen.
A Katie monk, a Saint Kiriaki monk. So.
Oh, yay! We got to do that for sure. And then I have a metaverse thing going on. And then just now when you were talking, I had this other idea. If you're available Monday, then I'm gonna have you be a part of this call, because I need you to meet someone for this collective that's happening. So let me know. We'll talk about it offline, but just ping me to remind me after we're not recording anymore. I want to tell you more about it. But so monks NFTs, and I'm a monk holder, and I have 2 monks actually, and I am so grateful because for my birthday, not only did you take me for lunch and you had a tour of Gold Tree Studios. By the way, 2 things. None of this is financial advice. This is sharing and caring. Nothing is financial advice. Do your own research, number 1. The second thing is Gold Tree Studios. If you need post-production facilities, recording studio, anything of that nature, we have 8 editing bays, movie theater. If you're interested in getting your project financed, a TV show, a documentary, a movie, or something like that, they have a whole like film fund department. But check out Gold Tree Studios. They're on Instagram, Gold, GOLD Studios. Check out Gold Tree Studios. And shout out, I'm super proud of my brother, Tim Chonacas. He's the creator. We appreciate you. On my birthday, we took Nigel to the studios and gave him a tour. And I thought it'd be like really advantageous and apropos because of like who he is and what he's into. And to sow that seed for the long-term vision that he was just talking about. So then we went to lunch and it was amazing. And then he showed me all the monks, which is really cool because I'm a visual person. I'm like, let's sit together hand in hand, hold hands, and like go through them together. And I picked the Socrates because I'm Greek and like I always say like I'm Socrates' younger spiritual sister. And so I picked a limited edition Socrates one. So thank you so much. I'm so grateful for that.
The OG Socrates. Yeah. So super, super cool stuff. And there's only 111 now, but there will be 11,111 one day. And you will have the OG of the 111. None will ever look like that for sure.
Oh, that's so amazing. And I have to remember, which I'm going to now, for my podcast season, I'm featuring some of my NFTs. I'm going to put my Socrates up there. It's not. I'm going to put it up.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
That would be beautiful.
I can't believe it's not. But yeah, it should definitely, it's my heart and soul. It definitely needs to be up there. Let's go.
Let's go. LFG. Now to bring it on a serious note.
Now tell me more about monks, please. What was your inspiration for starting monks? It's so deep.
Yeah, just like a love for like philosophy, meditation, mental health, awareness in general. Just a huge passion in my life, something that I would love to just inspire more people to embrace themselves in their own way. And that journey is always completely unique, which is I think, the best part about it. So obviously, as you can tell from the name, monks, like it has that kind of spiritual context, it has that like mindful air to it. So it's pretty much exactly what you would think. It's the characters, they're PFPs right now, but it's, you know, a token of ownership to the company, really, in what we're going to do in the future. But yeah, monks is just serves to promote music artists, so it doesn't like really produce its own music or anything. Like I work with the music patch, and that's where all the music is produced and everything. But
well, let's talk about that in a minute. Let's dive in deeper, more of the psychology of it, and then pivot to like who makes the art actually too.
So pretty much what it is, they're just like PFPs right now. They're just a bunch of different monks meditating, and we picked 17 select thought leaders of the past. So like you said, you had the Socrates ones, we have Beethoven, we have Amelia Earhart, you know, Frederick Douglass, these people who really demonstrated the power of just thinking and creating a new and better world for the people around them. We wanted to represent those characters because originally it was going to be called Music Monks, really. So this is some alpha here. There's 3 evolutions to the monks. The first edition is, you know, what you own. It's the monks of the past. These are people who we decided to go from, you know, way back in the past, because there's people of all across the board, all ages, who have done this and thought this way, you know, not to get mixed up in any kind of issues, legal issues. We didn't want to use anybody's image without permission. So we wanted to build a base starting from these thought leaders of the past. And we thought that was a way more organic way to reach people like to the core of who they identify with as on a personality. So that's kind of the psychology of it.
Alpha.
The alpha, the second evolution of monks is called music monks. And what that's going to be really is a bunch of select different music artists that we work with are going to have their own monk. And we're going to work together with them in conjunction, obviously try to work with the biggest artists we can to get the most reach we can to reach people and influence them with the ideas also, of being mindful.
The biggest artists, meaning the most consistent artists in Web3, right? They don't have to be like biggest as in celebrity, but biggest as in on the grind of making music, right? Or do you mean biggest as in Web2 big artists that you want to pivot into Web3, or both?
Honestly, both. Yeah. I think like the most reach we can get as possible. We want to work with, I mean, the project doesn't really have that many limits. We could work with thousands of artists. We probably won't, probably more like close to 100. But yeah, we just like definitely represent artists across Web3 who are consistent in grinding and putting out incredible material, but also try to find like these bigger artists who are in Web2 and haven't really made that transition over, and kind of help guide their community over with this idea in a really like thoughtful and organic way, and not to like try to ever push anybody into the space or their community into like, consuming something that they don't really want. It's like making that connection between the artists and their fans as pure as possible.
So I know that you're like into strategy and marketing. So is it going to be like one grand announcement on the Super Bowl, or you know what I mean? Like, how do you plan to be a healthy communicator, one person at a time, or on a platform to be, you know, sharing this information with the people, like, you know, for them to know who you are? And like right now, is it everything's still being built, so you're not like putting a push and it's just kind of organic, or are you ready to, you know, to massively let people know the vibe? So like which process are you in right now?
Yeah, right now and for the next 5 years, probably it's going to be 100% organic, just like word of mouth, assembling the team really, because this is a long-term vision. Everything I do is long-term, but this is my most long-term vision. It's like 30 years out really when I see this being like household brand type of deal, like massive.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That's so cool. Yeah, I'm here for it.
So really just word of mouth, like people like yourself, just collecting them into the hive mind and like building what this should really look like in the future together.
Yeah. They have a cool gallery. I haven't been to it, but my friend Orbs One, he had a show there a couple weeks ago. We did a collaboration. He did a piece of me. Like he has this amazing art. I don't know if I sent you the invite to go, but it was there. It was at the Hive Mind Gallery. And I didn't even like know about it. But have you been there?
I don't think so, actually. I remember you saying that, but I haven't. Yeah. I might be confusing it with another gallery that was really similar, but I don't believe I've been to the Hive Mind Gallery.
Yeah, it's different. I thought it was the same thing for a moment as well, but because someone asked, I'm like, maybe, and I'm like, but it's not. No, so moving forward, tell me more about the artist.
Yes. So his name's Diego. He actually lives down in Peru. Just such an awesome guy. we were looking for somebody who could replicate faces pretty well and who just like knew how to like turn that into like a playful characteristic design, because we wanted the characters to be recognizable but kind of have their own like air to them. Like, this is a monk version of like this character, and it embodies the same traits so that people can relate to them, but then he was able to give them really cool like unique traits that like further amplify how much people relate to them. Like, for example, the first guy who ever bought a monk, Fabian, really cool guy. He's the mayor of City DAO. He's the creator of Van Life DAO. Really cool projects. So if you are a van lifer, definitely look up Van Life DAO and get involved in the community. They're actually buying plots of land all across the states so that you can have safe places to park. He bought his monk because it had like a trucker hat on it, and he always wears trucker hats. And so it was like a Beethoven one too. So he was like, I love Beethoven, I'm all about music, and I always wear trucker hats. So it was a Beethoven trucker hat with the sacred sound symbol on it. You know, for him it was perfect. And that's why we worked with Diego, because we saw that he was able to make not just the characters look like who they should look like, but also give like cool little traits that people are going to be able to identify with. So shout out Diego, really great artist.
Shout out Peru. Shout out
Shout out Peru.
Diego. Yeah, cool. Love that. For the culture, for real. Trucker hat, Beethoven. That is so for the culture.
Right, with the sacred sound and everything.
Like when you say Beethoven, I perked up because like I have Socrates, and then my birthday, because I was like really difficult. I didn't know which one to get, and then it was between that and the Van Gogh. And so like, thank you. I had the Van Gogh, which is like amazing. Starry Night. That's right here. Starry Night. It's like I'm like star girl. But the next one, I'm going straight for Beethoven. I'm not kidding. Okay. The next one. Oh, you have?
That's my phone case. Yep. Yeah, my phone case.
We're so in sync. It's my day planner.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, my day planner for the year. So it's with me every day. Speaking of, we have like same vibes, right? Same vibes, right? Yeah. So let's just like speaking of same vibes. You have a skateboard. I have a skateboard. Nifty Castle, DB's, Sketchnate, and
DB's and Lord Williams collab skateboard here this is from NFT NYC 2022.
Cool. And I saw you there, and you know what? That's where I got mine. Gift gave me that one.
Okay. So, yeah. I figured.
It's a collaboration with Zehovac. Love her. Quantum pop artist. She's amazing. Very colorful, fashionista. And then like later on, a few hours later, of course, the homie comes over, Sabit. He has his markers, and I arrived, and Manny did this whole thing, and he's like, here you go, and make whatever you want. And did you do it too? Like the canvas he had, it was like a bus, and people were like signing their names and drawing on it. So I did that when I came, and I did that, which was fun. I wonder where that piece is now. A few hours later, Sabit came. He did his script writing. He did some art on the board. So it's like a Nifty Castle DBs with Zehovac collab. But then Sabit drew on it. So that's really neat. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Sabit.
That's so cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So cool.
Castle.
Oh yeah, big time.
I just saw from our you're in the group chat for VeeCon, right? From last year, VeeCon group chat.
The Rob Boss VeeCon.
Yeah, so Gifted just posted they're going to be dropping their new show tomorrow, and like he announced the name of the show for the very first time, like a teaser clip, and it's called Fuck You Podcast. Fuck You Money. Fuck You Money. It's called it's a Fuck You Money pod. So yeah, that's their new show. Yeah, and the first episode is actually with Heroin, which is really cool. The homie, I met him. He came to my birthday party when I did my Dreamland 11 drop, and I put my whole album, 11 tracks for 0.11 ETH on Ethereum on OpenSea, lazy minting. And that's he and I met there. Yeah, so that's cool. Congratulations to Web3, Gifted, the whole community, Nifty Castle. Love them, support them. They're amazing.
Them. Big shout out. Yeah, super cool, rad stuff. If you haven't checked them out, definitely go check them out.
Yeah, like just the other day they were talking about generative art, and like his words were dumbing it down. I personally don't like that word or theory, but that's what his words were. Let's like, and he does it. He stops the Jiwa, who's this genius in Berlin, and he was like, then he stops. You know, he's a great Spaces host since day one, before I even met him IRL. Just like community, really knows how to build community, ethical people, good education. And so and he does it early in the morning. I happened to be in the room, and Jiwa was breaking stuff down. I was confused about some certain things and stuff. And like he was asking questions and they were explaining things. And it was like so insightful, and grateful you're able to watch playback if you're in Twitter Spaces, which is great. If they're recording it, then you can listen to it. Blue Moon came up on the stage. She's amazing. She's 9 months. She's almost due. Like she was on the Women Empowerment series, talking about a bunch of things, and they're really big into generative art. So that's really cool. Like generative art, AI, and I kind of just went all over the place. But yeah, that's kind of like the alpha from the VeeCon chat we're in. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, super rad. I'm excited to check out that show now. I didn't look at the text yet, but it's funny that it's called Fuck You Money.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm very intrigued. That's a good title. It's like abrasive and it's evocative. It makes me like, fuck you money. Interesting. Wonder what this is about.
Yeah. Well, he wants to know like what people think about it, right? So we can just like send him a clip or something of this show. But
perfect.
Yeah, I think it's apropos. I think like when it's, inducing the culture, it's a vibe and you get it. And I was reflecting, like, what do I think about it? It kind of moved me in a way, and then it's like, yeah, I like FU money. I like FU money. That's cool. FU money. That's cool. I like fucking money. Yeah. I like money. I like fucking. I'm all about it. Need some more fucking in my life. We all need some
on
more
a serious on a serious fucking note.
on a for real status note over here. In addition, like other people won't know, like people who aren't in it won't know, but people who are in it, who have half a brain, you think like, there's the new show from Yuga Labs, the fucking metaverse, right? So I think that was probably a huge fucking stroke of inspiration for the titling. Because when people hear that fucking show, like the fucking metaverse, I wanted to call, being who I am, like I wanted to call my podcast mentor, which I did. And I'm like, is that allowed? Like, can you do that? Because normally there's like rules with podcasting. Like they don't like when you put it in all caps, they could take your show down. Like they could take the show down. If you put it in all caps, they don't like that. They don't like symbols and numbers and stuff for titling. There was all that information I remember when I was putting my music on DistroKid with certain things too, with that same like fonts and captions. But I wanted to know, like, are we allowed to say that? Is it possible? I mean, you can have explicit, obviously, which this episode is.
For sure.
But hey, I mean, people don't know certain things. You just don't know. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good. The fucking money. So now I have to go back and look at it. Fuck you podcast. No, it's not fuck you. Yeah, it's fuck money. It's a f.u.money pod. So fu. So it's kind of fu.
Yeah, like fuck you money. Yeah. It's like funny too, because you can look at it in two ways. It's like fuck you money, like money is bullshit, fuck it. And then you can also look at it like fuck you money, like I got fuck you money. Like, you know what I mean? Like that saying, like fuck you money. Yeah. It's cool.
Also, I like it because it's about disruption, and that's obviously like, ha ha ha. And it's like everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people, like everyone doesn't have to, like most of us in, the matrix of society, unless you're, a monk in Bali and off the grid or whatever. There's still like certain trades and means that you need to, make it in society until just live for normal survival, just basic. But there's so many dysfunctions with money. So based on your relationship, like if you have a lot of like FU money, you have a lot of FU money. In addition, like people who have like an unhealthy, like a relationship with money, it could be calling things out in such a way. And since we're learning in a new way with crypto, I think we can have a new relationship with the emotional aspect of how we feel about money. So I think it's a erotic, psychotic, irritating topic, but important topic to eradicate, to come up. So I'm excited to see the journey. I just know there's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of community, a lot of laughs, and tons of education, because he's been consistent with it since day one, GIF. Yeah. So shout out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Big shout out to GIF. Love that guy.
Yeah. Cool. Wrapping in, like, what else do you want to share? Like, let's talk about PATCH BAE. Like
music patch. Yeah. You mentioned fun. Remember we were saying I had to talk about how I'm the director of fun at Music Patch. That's my official title there. I lived with PATCH BAE for a little bit, and like they're just go. They're hustlers. They love to work. But I came in and I was literally like, we need self-care days. We need to have fun too. Like they're serious. They love to work. They obviously know how to have fun. But I like promoted that within when I started working with them, because I think it increases like your intrinsic motivation to work and stuff too, if you're just having fun with what you're doing. So that's my official title at the Music Patch, is the director of fun. Yeah, PATCH BAE is an incredible music artist. If you've never heard of her, you can look her up on any social platform at It's PATCH BAE, or on any streaming service as PATCH BAE, BAE, not BAY. She's just great vocalist, does like pop, R&B, kind of has like her own style too. You just gotta check it out. But yeah, doing lots of cool work with them. We are kind of just like masterminding this whole Web3 label services type of business model as Web3 kind of emerges more into mainstream music. And my part in that is just kind of helping with brand strategy, general marketing and stuff, promotion, and how do we, build community and success really within when you're taking music and you're putting it behind an NFT or something like that.
Yeah, but how do we do it? We do it by applying the action, by having an idea and actually like testing it out. Not that if it doesn't go to the moon, or if it goes to the moon, like just getting messy and trying things out, and seeing what works and what doesn't work. I think that's one of the best ways to build community, is making the leap and taking a chance.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so like, that's what we're kind of like, the Music Patch is a collective. So we're all about bringing people in, even if we know that they're like lower skill people, like they don't have as much experience. It's all about trust for us. Like we can build skill over time, but trust is essential. So we're just like music collective of people kind of working towards common goals, trying to promote their music and, make a career for themselves in this modern music industry.
Yeah, love that. I personally had a performance I heard PATCH BAE, saw her live, Neo Sutra's Sketch Poetic. They did a collaboration of spoken word artists with our homie Chris Wood, and she performed music. I performed spoken word, a new piece called The Actor. She did this acoustic style, and I got some on video. It just definitely brought me to tears. Like my soul was welling up. She really touched me in that way. So would definitely love to have her on the show very soon, and maybe she could sing live for us or something like that.
She would love to, I'm sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And then she also just started her weekly interviews with different music artists called Patched In. And she'd love to have you on there as well. It'd be super cool to kind of like, she just has people tell their story of their artistry and like, how they became to be an artist. And it'd be really cool to get your story out there like that.
Yeah. And it's so important that we hear other people's stories, and no two people have the same story. There's similarities, but they're just so unique. And it can't be what it was. It never will be, because Madonna, where she's from, Michigan, where I'm from, who she was, what she did, her aunt being in New York, her taking dance classes, like it was the era when it was. We're in 2023. Like there's no doing that,
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with like Patti Smith and like certain people in the 60s. Like we're just in a different time. So when we hear people's stories, we can be inspired by their choices and their journey, but we're not going to follow the steps that they took because of technology, right? So it's all about definitely being on the cutting edge and what works for us, what doesn't work for us. So is there a book that you recommend? One, it could be mental wellness, a podcast, where you get some of your Web3 alpha, where you go to for inspiration and to learn.
Cool. Yeah. As far as book goes, I don't know if you've heard of the Celestine Prophecy. It's a really cool book. It's like fiction that just touches on like these real life concepts and insights that if we gain, it leads to a more liberating and joyful life, really. So really, really, really cool book if you like an easy read that's along a fiction story.
How do I spell it? I'm going to download it right now on Libby, Libby, 30 audiobooks per month for free.
Yeah, I can't believe you know Celestine. Yeah, it's CELCELE.
CELETINE Prophecy.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. Boom. Place a hold. I'm gonna
James Redfield, I think. I can't believe. Yeah, I can't believe you've never heard of this. You're going to love it. No. You're going to identify so much with what these characters go through. It's so cool.
Oh no, I vaguely heard about it. Like I've heard of it. I've never read it. When I went to order it right now, it's on hold. It's coming through audiobook.
Yeah, that's like more of like on the fiction side, more like practical read. I like Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
That's a classic. That's always a good one. If anybody out there listening that hasn't read that, it's going to change your life.
Okay, can I share something real
Just do.
quick?
Yeah.
So I read that since I was a kid. I heard about it like when I was a teenager. I've read it multiple times because you just learn things every time you listen to it. Oh, but he has one like How to Win Friends and Influence People. And
Oh, well, that's Dale Carnegie, right? That's
yeah,
probably my
I'm
top
sorry.
three.
Sorry.
for sure.
Oh, okay.
It's very similar. Very, very similar.
You're right.
That one too.
Yeah, but what I wanted to share with you, you're right though, but what I wanted to share with you since I just pivoted this, sorry about that. Now there's an updated version, How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age. And they teach you about emojis. And so I tested it out, and it was like, if you put a smiley face emoji after a text, your responses, they respond quicker. People respond to you when you leave emojis, and especially smiley face emojis, you'll get a response from people quicker. So it's wild, the art of communication. Yeah, but yeah, Think and Grow Rich is amazing. I need to listen to that again.
Yeah, we're always sending smileys in text, so that's good.
Yeah.
It's good people skills. Yeah, it's can never be undervalued. I mean, people are everything. And it's like, at first when I heard that title, I always thought it sounded like kind of manipulative. But like when you read the book, it's so the opposite. It's all about like, how can you genuinely care more about people and like be interested and engaged? It just changes your whole scope on like people. It's just awesome. People are awesome, and like the better perspective you have on that, and the better you're able to like maintain friends with people and like strategic alliances, like life is really fun, because then you just have options, and you have a community that you can fall back on, and that's the most important thing, I think, at the end of the day.
Yeah. 1000%. And then where do you go for your Web3 alpha or like Web3 music alpha? Like, who are your trusted sources that you go to?
Yeah, I was telling you earlier, I was a big fan of Edge of NFT podcast. I was like listening to them from the inception. I think I've like heard almost all their episodes. And then I've been listening to your podcast as well. Great source. I was listening to like the mental health and wellness episodes that you had up there, or you had the whole that's just a great episode. Your mental health awareness month episode. Love that one. But I mean, we're talking about more like Web3 and stuff too. Usually Twitter Spaces, it's like poking around there. And then events. I just try to just like IRL events are everything. Just go to everything. That's how you stay updated. You talk to the people. Yeah. Shake the hands, you know. But yeah, I would say podcast wise, like Edge of NFT is great. Yeah. Obviously, your podcast, if anyone's listening now, this is your first episode, we'll keep digging in because there's great stuff in there. And then, yeah, Twitter Spaces, just talk to the people. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, we surpassed 100 episodes. There's definitely a lot of episodes that you can listen to, especially from, women. So empowering women internationally, telling their stories about blockchain and NFTs. Great. Well, Nigel Ford, creator of Monks NFTs. So awesome for you to join me, my friend. I am so excited to have you on this segment of Culture Kid. Would love for you to come back on the show. So let's make that happen in the very near future.
Let's go. I'm very, very excited. And thank you so much. I'm eternally grateful to be here today. And like you said, this doesn't have to be a one and only thing. So let's get back on here and more great conversations.
Yeah. And some of the musical artists you're working with, would love to have play their music on the show too. So send me their files and I'll make that happen. Great. You just tuned into a Culture Kids segment on She's All Over the Place. I'm your host, Kiriaki. Thank you so much for joining me. Because of you, we are in the top 1.5% out of almost 4 million podcasts. So please leave a comment on something cool that you learned today, something that you're inspired by. If you have any questions, follow-up questions, we're going to have Nigel on again so we can talk about certain topics. If you're a music enthusiast, want to know more about mental wellness, anything, definitely connect with me on all social media platforms, and the link below, you can get on the newsletter. When you sign up for the newsletter, I have an automation set up that gives you Web3 lingo, and then a list of people I respect and admire since I've been in the space since 2018. I'm always doing my best to update it. I definitely need to have music strategists on there and put Nigel's information on there. So by the time this airs, it'll probably already be on there if you're not on there already, actually. Yeah, with that being said, please share this with one person and make sure you're subscribing, liking on Spotify, Apple, wherever you stream your podcast. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Kiriaki, over and out.